Hi, this is Pratik Chogli. I'm here at the Sandra Day O'Connor Law School, which is located at Arizona State University. I just spent a day here, and I think this is a good backdrop to talk about and illustrate with an example a number of the principles that I talk about with law school admissions. Now, as you know from watching some of my other content, um, one of the things that I recommend is really when you're going through the law school admissions process, really knowing what I call your deep why. Why is it that you want to go to law school, and what is it that you really want to get out of it? And um, and my argument is when you're thinking about that issue, that you think about your decision to go to law school and your application process in the context of your overall goal in life. What are the trade-offs that you want to make? What is the career path you want to be on? How do you weigh finances and so forth? And um, and I think this issue of knowing your deep why is one of the ways that you get out of having to fixate on arbitrary things like whether or not you're going to a top 14 law school, or what the ranking is, or how prestigious of a school that you're going to. And you can open up your mind and really find opportunities that are not necessarily well known, but they can really put you on a solid path. So I think arguably Arizona State may be one of these situations, and I can illustrate that by giving you an example of let's say that you decide at some point in college that you want to go into tech law, or you want to work somewhere at the intersection of the technology sector. Now, the conventional wisdom and the brand name thing to do might be to really focus on trying to get into Stanford Law School, and then ingrain yourself with these networks in Palo Alto and Silicon Valley and so forth. But the issue is that when you make a decision that you want to go to Stanford Law School, you're also making a decision basically to sign up for a very rigorous set of academic requirements that you have to meet. So for the vast majority of applicants, that's going to require getting at or near a 180 on the LSAT, and then at or near a 4.0 GPA in college. And even then, you may or may not be competitive. Um, but if you broaden your thinking a little bit, you might realize that the Sandra Day O'Connor Law School here at Arizona State might actually end up being a better bet. Now, you wouldn't necessarily think this if you're reading U.S. News and World Report, where the school is ranked as of the latest ratings. It's tied for number 27. But if you look beneath these rankings, what you find that there's actually a potentially huge opportunity here for a couple of reasons. A big factor is the location of it. So if you come here to Phoenix, you see that Phoenix is actually a boom town, and you can see it all over if you come and visit the construction and so forth. But I was reading in an article earlier today that the tech sector in the Phoenix area, the number of tech jobs is expected to grow 188%, which is, as you can imagine, an outlier compared to other places. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but a number of big companies are relocating here. There's a lot of tech migration from the high cost of living in Silicon Valley. There's just a lot working here. And part of that is starting to show up too, also in the way that Arizona State generally, but the Sandra Day O'Connor Law School specifically, is rebranding itself and investing in itself. And so one barometer of that is the fact that their applications are up 64% compared to other schools, which are up 8%. So if you think about this strategically, if you decide that rather than aiming for Stanford, for example, and one could think about other comparisons, and you focus on a place like Arizona State, you're now suddenly liberated from a lot of the onerous LSAT and GPA requirements. You have a little bit more flexibility to do things outside of your academic coursework. Maybe you can take on new projects, maybe you can start a company, so forth. And then you can move here to Phoenix, And when you go to a place like Sandra Day O'Connor, you're getting the benefit of a school that is on the upswing, but at the same time remains a somewhat, uh, it's partly a national, but partly a local school. So you develop a lot of contacts and networks in this Phoenix area, and then you can build out a practice or build out a business or really become part of an ecosystem that is going to be the next big tech sector with more opportunities, more returns, and that may ultimately put you on a better path. So the point here isn't so much about Sandra Day O'Connor Law School. One could do this kind of exercise for any number of different schools, but I think that it's a good illustration of how if you look beyond the narrow rankings, look beyond the conventional wisdom, and really go through the process of figuring out what you want out of law school, why you want it, and then think really strategically about what are the schools that are most likely to get you there. That may lead you to a set of decisions and a set of conclusions that may not be intuitive at first glance, but that may put you in a better position in the years to come.